It's What's the Score on the Blue Room, and after another weekend of disappointments, well, relative disappointments, Matt Jones is back to pick the bones out of defeat, the third on the spin, to Man City, and look ahead towards the game away at Burnley at the weekend. Matt, how's things?
Not too bad, mate, yeah. I mean, it doesn't feel like it was 2 weeks ago we were sat outside and it was lovely and warm and we were having a bevy and we think we're going to beat Sheffield United, and now 2 weeks down the line, it's absolutely pissing down.
Big coat weather.
Big coat, it is big. I got the big coat off for the first time this week.
Outrageous, isn't it?
Did you?
Yeah, it's out.
So yeah. I was still clinging on to like wearing shorts up until October.
You've not got shorts on today,
no,
you were doing well.
I've got the jeans on today, you know, unfortunately our viewers can't see this, but no, I was clinging on. I thought I've got to get to October at least. I can still wear them then.
Yeah.
And then I wore them on the 1st of October and I was like, nah, it's gone now, unfortunately.
If you were a builder or a postie, you could still get away with it. But...
Yeah, probably. Yeah, postmen wear them all the time, don't they? Yeah. Because when you're walking around and stuff, so it's a bit less cold, aren't you? But, yeah. But other than that, mate, yeah, all good.
So what about, what did you think of the Man City game?
I thought we looked like a mid-table team playing all right against an elite team that were playing all right.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up,
was like, I think the Everton side of that spell towards the end of last season where we beat good sides at home probably gives Manchester City a really good game, you know, in that day. I think, you know, if you go into a game, Kurt Zouma in that side, and the confidence is up. I think you're looking at a really tight match there, but it just, I had a little feeling maybe about 10 minutes into the second half that we might be able to nick something from it, maybe to nick a win. But it always felt in the game as though we were just clinging on in there, you know, and sort of when they get it right, they're probably going to score against us. And ultimately, the goal didn't come from a moment like that. It was a mistake from Jordan Pickford. But I just thought we looked like you see these games on the telly all the time now. You know, if you've got Manchester City or Liverpool away against a team in that middle third of the league, often it's on the telly, either Sunday night or afternoon game, or it's the Saturday evening, the Saturday night, and you're watching it and you're thinking while you're watching the game, you know, this is all right, it's entertaining. Yeah. But in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, well, City or Liverpool still have enough to win this game. I just thought it felt like we looked like one of those sides in that game. Yeah. Which is a little bit sad, really.
Yeah, it's probably a fair assessment of where we are at the minute, though, isn't it? I think one thing that stood out for me was. He's coming for a bit of flack over it this season, but Marco Silva's substitutions, it was reactive again, wasn't it? You could see they were taking more of a control in the game, and you thought we need to change something. I'm not sure what, but we needed to change something because they were just getting into the game and we didn't seem to have any outlets. And then he makes the change when we go 2-1 down. Yeah,
I've got a little bit of sympathy for him in regards to this one, because I think if you look at the bench, first and foremost, Bernard's not on there, so he's got two centre forwards, hasn't he? And I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin was playing pretty well all in all. Yeah. And I'm not entirely sure he would have really liked to have gone to a situation where he brings a forward player to go and play on the wing, which is ultimately what he did, wasn't it, Maurice Keane? And the fact that we had to make a sub inside the first 2 minutes as well. I think that sort of left him with one hand tied behind his back a little bit. So I've got a bit of sympathy for him there, and I don't know if you thought anything particular during that game, but I wasn't sat there thinking, oh, this player can come on and really make a difference for us. The only one I thought maybe was bringing Davis on for Sigurdsson, and maybe either playing him in support of Dom or having him shore up the midfield. But ultimately, I think Gylfi's performance is very much divided opinion. I thought he was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed.
Other people said he thought he was really good. So maybe Marco Silva thought he was playing really well. But and I think I'm more concerned about his substitutions in games like Sheffield United, where we're chasing the game, or at the weekend if it's 1-1 going into the last 20 minutes, or 60 minutes and they're starting to get on top. It's them when you've got to make the really big decisions, and I think we should be judging them.
Yeah, I mean it was an improved display, and you kind of hope we will take this into the Burnley game at the weekend. I don't think we will, if I'm honest. But you kind of hope that there's something to cling on to there. That like if we do play like that, I mean it's a very different team. Burnley and Man City are like chalk and cheese, aren't they? It's going to be a very, very different game.
It's like a different sport, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
You think about what you're asking from your footballers when you play against Man City and you play against Burnley. They are totally different. Yeah. Like there'll be things that our players have to do in that Manchester City game they won't have to do once in this game of the weekend. There'll be things they've got to do in this game of the weekend that they wouldn't have to do once last week.
Yeah, wouldn't have to think about.
So it's I suppose it's it's another challenge for the manager, isn't it? Really, where when you're going into a game like these this spell of games where you've sort of had Sheffield United at home, who were going to sit in, then City away, City at home, who were going to do something completely different. And then you've got Burnley away, who are going to do something completely different again.
Yeah.
It's like 3 different tactical plans.
Yeah,
isn't it,
I suppose it's not something we ever really think about that, is it? If you've got a sequence of games of teams who are quite similar, it's probably easier to prepare for than these 3 games we've had now. I think he needs to pull something out though, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, you know, ultimately that's why, you know, what the best managers do. They do the flexible, they know the players well, they know they can trust in certain games, they know where the good matchups are, and ultimately that's what we need to see from Silva now, I suppose.
Historically, in this one, we've played 114 times, we've won 50, drawn 29 and lost 35. So we're well up on Burnley.
So even if they were at the weekend, the sound and the overall stakes,
any overall stats, the mark behind.
Where the real winners.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah,
say,
just like ram that down and throw who's the real winner here.
We've had some bad days here, haven't we?
Yeah. I mean, the one that always springs to mind though for me is the Eto game, because that was just glorious.
That was a great day. Yeah, that was fantastic.
But we've had some terrible times. I was looking at the stats before, and I think the first game we ever played against them was in the 50s when we were wretched and we got beat 5-2.
God.
I thought we would have played them before that, but apparently not.
I remember when they first came up and they beat us 1-0 and Sahar missed the penalty.
Oh God, yeah.
I think it was down at our end and he hit it and he went wide and everyone thought it was in because they'd gone past the keeper.
Oh, right.
And then it was like, it hits the backboard there because it's really close to the pitches and it's like, oh no. But yeah, that Etu game was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was brilliant.
You think back to, I remember that day everyone was singing Who Needs Lambert, and we've got you signed Lambert, we signed Samuel Etu.
Yeah, the Spiral Carpets one, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you know, God, didn't quite work out in the end.
That kit was class as well. The
Justin
Bieber kit.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And Stephen Naismith whacking the ball against the
in the barn.
Tom Eaton's head, wasn't it? Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, you couldn't have done that any better, could you?
No, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, the results against them are really sort of like up and down. You can't. 2017-18, we lost both games against them. Last season, we won both games against them. The form going into this one, Burnley are 11th, and the last 6 games we've won 1, drawn 3, lost 1. We're of course 15th, and we've won 1, drawn none, and lost 4.
Oof, that's horrible reading that, isn't it?
That's terrible. It's awful. So I mean, everyone's sort of focusing on. Well, I certainly am focusing on this could be our 4th defeat on the spin, but if you look at it even further than that, it could be 5 defeats in 6 games.
It's wretched.
Awful.
Wretched, isn't it? And I suppose you look at the situation now with the international break coming after this. If we don't win at the weekend, we're going to be into mid-October. We've won 2 Premier League games.
Well, this one,
which is, it's horrendous, isn't it?
That's awful, actually. Yeah. And this one, if you look at the table, we're speaking about this on the weekly. It's sort of like it's a real tipping point in the season because they could go 5 points clear if they win, 5 points clear of us, and we could drop into the bottom 3 if other results go against us. Alternatively, if we win, we can go 1 point ahead of them. So it feels like it's a key game because we can either make some ground up and sort of stay thereabouts of mid-table, which isn't really where we want to be at this stage, or we can really genuinely get into a bit of a relegation fight already.
Yeah.
And once you sort of drag down there, it can be really difficult to pull yourself out.
It's horrible being in that situation as a fan, isn't it? Where you just look at every fixture and think, we're not going to win.
Yeah.
Like even West Ham after the international break, they're doing all right, to be fair, aren't they?
Doing well.
I'm sure they'll West Ham it up at some point over the course of the season, but at the moment they've got, a proven manager. They've had some good players. They've got a good striker. They've got creative players, and you look at that and think they'll come to Goodison Park and cause us problems.
Yeah.
And then you've got Brighton after that, which you think, it's Brighton away, Brighton at home.
Yeah.
It's the south coast, totally terrible, and you're thinking, we're not far off that absolutely horrendous run coming up around Christmas time.
I think the one saving thing for that is if we want to be playing anyone in a run like this, it's West Ham at home. Because it's a game we can always win. I think we've got the best record against them of anyone, haven't we?
Yeah.
In the Premier League, at least.
Although they did sort of break that curse last year.
They did last year, with the Yarmolenko.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. He'll be back as well.
God, we were terrible this time last year as well, weren't we?
Yeah. I think you want at least 4 or 5 wins on the belt before you get your big coat out, don't you?
Yeah, we've blown that.
2 wins and we got the big coats out. That's what's going on.
That's outrageous, isn't it?
What's going on? What coat do you reckon Marco go for at the weekend? Because it's going to be cold, isn't it, up there?
I reckon he'll go tracky.
Could be his last coat.
Could be, yeah. I reckon tracky and big car coat.
Do you reckon he'll go for the unshaven as well?
Yeah, he's
go full last days of Koeman look.
Yeah, he's going to look a bit haggard, I reckon.
Yeah.
He'd probably be completely grey or bald as well. You never know. Just while we're talking about being at Turf Moor, I managed to get I just got it off the Everton YouTube channel. Yeah. The 5-1 last season, which is I don't think it's going to be anything like that this season. But take a look at that and reminisce, and think we were in a really wretched run at that time as well.
Andre Gomez inside the 18-yard box. The corner's gone short. Back with Lucas Dean. Headed clearance from the Burnley skipper as far as Bernard, who sends it back in. There's Yerry Mina. He's got his first goal for Everton, and it's come inside 2 minutes here at Turf Moor. It is the perfect start, just what Everton needed. That's the response. They're playing a great ball in for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who was taken out of it by Matt Lowton. And that's a free kick for Everton, right on the edge of the box. Lucas Dean, who takes, and it's 2! He's done it again. Scorer of that late equaliser at Goodison Park against Watford from a similar free kick. He does it here at Turf Moor to double Everton's advantage. Now Bernard stealing it from Tarkowski. Bernard all the way for Everton. And Tarkowski got back and recovered and made the challenge. Just as Bernard was about to pull the trigger. In comes the corner. Two of the Everton big boys climbing highest. And Everton have been awarded a penalty here. The referee has no hesitation really in stating that Ben Mee has handled that ball. What a start to this game we have had. Sigurdsson from the penalty spot makes it 3, and we haven't reached the midway point of the first half yet. Everton have hit the back of the net 3 times at Turf Moor inside the opening 22 minutes. Everton's defensive line positioned on the edge of the 18-yard box here. Westwood's free kick, and a touch from Pickford was needed. The header might just have been creeping in, and Pickford flying away to his left got there to flip it around the post. And the ball has gone in now. Burnley were appealing initially to say that the ball had crossed the line, but they have given themselves some semblance of hope, and Everton have conceded. Hendrick puts the ball into the penalty area, and Tarkowski's there to send it over the crossbar. That is a big chance, and Everton are grateful that it was the centre-back in that position, and maybe not Burnley's centre-forward. Seamus Coleman. Theo Walcott for Calvert-Lewin. Walcott gets the return, does it really well, and Calvert-Lewin unable to convert. What a goal that would have been. Great football between the two. Just couldn't apply the finish. The layoff from Richarlison for Bernard. Richarlison goes for the return, gets it into the penalty area. Richarlison can't find Theo Walcott. Everton have to settle for a corner. Well, almost an immediate impact there from Richarlison. And towards Michael Keane, who met it. So close to scoring against his former club there. Rose well, just over the crossbar. Walcott. Whipped away by Ben Mee, acrobatically. And Walcott might nip in here, and does. Hart has to make the save. Theo Walcott almost put the game to bed. He's alert here. Burnley weren't. Sigurdsson swings the corner in. Gomez trying to dig it out. Richarlison got an effort in, which was blocked. Here's Lucas Dean from distance. Oh, what a goal! He is becoming a real Everton favourite. What about that? Everton have the points. There is no doubt about that now. Lucas Dean has 2, and they've both been spectacular. Sent back in by Matt Loughton. It's picked up by Ben Mee, who's driven it across the face of goal and narrowly wide of Joe Hart's far post. Everton will just play keep ball for the final part of stoppage time here. Sigurdsson, Richarlison, they might get a 5th. They do! How about that? The perfect finish. It's been the perfect day. Richarlison on as a substitute amongst the scorers. Burnley have been battered. Everton hit 5 on the road. What a great finish it was too from Richarlison. What a Boxing Day bonanza.
And it was
Great editing again.
It was, wasn't it? Seamless.
How good are we at this now?
It's
you know we've been doing this about 2 months. We've already got videos in the middle of things and everything.
I've been doing it for years.
Amazing.
But yeah, I mean, just looking back at the highlights, then they had a couple of good chances in that game to pull it back at 3-1. That I think one just whizzed past the post in the second half, and they had a couple of good chances.
I think they had one which is well offside, wasn't it? But there's no flag for it, and like he just spooned it over the bar from really close in. But
yeah,
that's classic Everton, isn't it? I remember watching. I was down at my other half's family for Christmas. I was watching that on a stream, and go 3-0 up, and everybody was like, you know, their dad and brother were sort of watching it with me, like, oh, it's fine. And as soon as they scored a goal before half time, I'm panicking, and they're like, what are you worried about? And when it's not your team, you can sort of do that, can't you? But,
yeah, you do. You're always confident in other people's teams, aren't you?
I think we need to get to 4-0 before I'm absolutely confident that we're going to win.
Even then, if it was like after an hour and he pulled one back, I'd still be a bit, I don't know about this.
I remember United at home last season when we were 3-0 up. I was still shouting, we need to know what to kill this one off.
And they were awful that day as well. As good as we were, they were terrible.
But the thing about that game is, I think you mentioned it on the weekly, the 3 at the back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was really interesting actually, because when you play Burnley, I sort of think that what they're good at is just making, like I said this a few times, but making loads of little battles all over the pitch.
Yeah. And
I think what you do in that system is you sort of give yourself a bit of superiority in defence in terms of the numbers, so you can deal with Barnes and Wood or whoever it is up front for them. You've got the 3 centre halves, and all of a sudden it just sort of keeps coming back to them, and you get a numerical advantage in a different area. So could be an interesting one, but I mean, can you imagine the fume if we played a 5-man defence and got beat? I mean, that could actually be the end of them.
Yeah, it might even bring zonal marking back into the equation as well. I'm waiting for that to rear its head again. Yeah, I mean, personally, I think we should do that. I think he needs to change something because, you know, it's not working. You know, as much as we were much improved against Man City, we still got beat. And the games preceding it, he played the same team, the same formation, and it didn't work. So I don't see why it should necessarily work against Burnley. If he does, hopefully it will. But
Holgate's good in the back 3 as well, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because Keane and Zuma, there's really no pace between them, is there? And if they get caught on the back foot, you know, I think you saw, was it when they beat us at Goodison, that ball round the back, past Michael Keane, ran onto it and scored. If they do anything like that defence it's not going to have the recovery time. But if you've got Holgate in there, he can add that bit of pace.
Suppose you give it more licence to Coleman and Dini to get forward then as well. I don't know. I think it's sort of one of them, isn't it? We've got to a point now where you 3 defeats in a row, 4 out of 5. You just want to see something, you know. I mean, the 2 things he can do are that, I think, like you said, go to a 3-man defence. I don't think he's going to play 4-4-2. I just don't think he'll do it. And I think the other thing he could do is take Sigurdsson out and play 4-3-3. And I think at this point he sort of, you know, unless he sort of thinks, you know, I'm going to stick with this to the international break. If it goes tits up, we'll reassess then over the break, and, you know, we'll come back and maybe try something different. But, you know, 3 defeats on the spin against some pretty average sides as well. It's, you know, obviously not City, but, you know, a few of the others are. You sort of look at it and think it is time to, you know, to rip this up and start again. Maybe. Yeah,
I think the worry with Sigurdsson, I think we're all expecting him to suddenly his form to turn around, and you kind of think, well, you've got to keep playing him for that to happen. But
yeah. I think it is a difficult one, isn't it? But again, you sort of get to a point where it's like, where's the cut off?
Well, yeah,
because, you know, we know he's scored goals in the Premier League. We know he can create chances from set pieces, and you know, put a shift off the ball and all that sort of thing. But the surely got to become a cut-off point. I think he's got 1 assist and no goals in 7 Premier League games this season, which is, you know,
poor,
for an attacking midfielder in a team that should have top 6 ambitions. That is just not good enough,
yeah,
is it?
Not at all. So hopefully he'll make some changes, or whatever he does will work.
Yeah.
So prediction time. Do you remember what he said?
I can't remember what he said. Yeah, I remember. You're probably going to tell me it's wrong now, but I can't see us winning.
No.
I think that's the ultimate bottom line on this. I think they've shown they struggle away from home. I think they've shown they struggled at certain points when it comes to character and battling. Maybe not so much at Goodison, but certainly away from home when the going gets tough, everything get going. Well, they don't get going. I think that's not how that saying works. They get going in the
to get off.
Yeah, to get off. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and I think we might just scrape a draw out of it. See it being one of them where it's sort of you go 1-0 down early on, see off a bit of pressure, maybe make a couple of changes, and we sort of bundle in a scrappy one later on. And I reckon Dominic Calvert-Lewin is going to score because I love him. I don't care who knows it.
He's doing all right. I think he gets too much flack. He's got people going on about the amount of goals he scored, but I think he's had about 50 odd starts. He scored 20 odd goals. Yeah. Well, 22 goals or something.
It's
so.
And the mad thing was, people were complaining about, like, actually unhappy about the goal he scored at the weekend.
Oh, I can't believe that. I know.
And it's for how many years have people who've slagged this lad off and his detractors been saying, this lad's not hungry enough for goals.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a goal scorer. You know, that at the weekend, if Romelu Lukaku did that, everyone would be saying, there you go.
Yeah, the instinct.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
He's a goal scorer. And obviously he's got to do it for a longer period of time, but at the moment he is doing it and he is getting into the good positions, you know, and he's 4 goals this season. Our top scorer. Yeah. You know, come on, let's give the lad a bit of credit.
I know people are complaining his holder play isn't good enough. Can't win.
How many strikers? I'm not even going to go into it.
He would have to be the perfect striker, basically, to do everything that everyone wants.
Yeah, just go sign Lewandowski. He'll solve our problems. Yeah, you know, he's got it all that.
Right, so if you want to go with Matt, Dominic Calvert-Lewin to score any time and a 1-1 draw, we've got the Fansbet FansBoosted odds of 26-1, so a tenner gets you 260 quid back. I also don't think we're going to win. It's just pure misery this every week now, isn't it? Draw. 2-2 draw for me. I said I don't know where we're going to get 2 goals from. Maybe Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Who knows? I've gone for Luca Dean to score though. I think he needs to sort of get his season back on track. He's had a couple of rugby games lately.
He had a knock, didn't he? He had a fitness test before the game last week.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He scored 2 here last year, didn't he?
He did, yeah. 2 belters as well. So I've gone for that. If you want to put that on, 2-2 and Luca Dean to score at any time. The FansBet odds are 76-1. So that'll get you.
It's probably the highest odds we've had for any so far.
So a tenner gets you 760 quid back. I think that's all right, that.
Yeah, that'd be all right. We'd rather we won, though. Well,
yeah.
In fact, I'd probably run off the 760 quid.
Yeah, the draw the 760 quid. I'll take that all day, yeah.
Yeah, it's sweet in the international break a bit, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Remember, you can only bet a maximum of £25 on these FansBet odds. And remember to gamble responsibly and don't go chasing lost causes if you're down. Which is ironic because pretty much that sums up following Everton.
Yeah.
Chasing lost causes all the time.
I was just thinking then, how much money would you take for Everton to lose if someone offered you it?
Ooh. Well, obviously if it was like $1 million or something, yeah. But
yeah, I'd take £1 million quid.
I don't know. Actually.
I was thinking more like £100.
I don't know because it'd make me weekend miserable, and we really, really need to get something out of this game. I'm very worried about us if we come away with nothing. Even if we come away with a draw, I'll be very worried. And I don't know if any amount of money could sort of placate that feeling.
Yeah. I mean, if people want to make us an offer, we could probably make it happen.
It's worth a go, innit? Because, we know people who know people.
Get down this Turf Moor, yeah. Get on the inside. Give them the Spurs lasagna. They had in 2000 and...
Oh, God,
yeah.
Yeah. Spurs
lasagna, yeah. Get some of that down.
We could arrange it.
This is what we can start using these videos for.
So, yeah, just inbox us.
Yeah. Let us know how much money you take for Everton to lose in the comments.
Yeah, do that. And get your mate to subscribe as well. Or your family. Anyone.
Your mate.
Yeah. I think on that bombshell, we'll leave it there. Thanks again, Matt.
Pleasure, as always.
Hopefully the Toffees will pull something out the bag and win this weekend. Remember to subscribe and to get anyone to subscribe, and we will catch you next time.